New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell has been indicted by a federal grand jury, along with her former bodyguard and alleged paramour, Jeffrey Vappy. Good evening and thanks for watching. I'm Devin Bartolotta. Tonight, the mayor's office has responded with a statement. It reads, the city of New Orleans is aware of today's indictment against Mayor Cantrell. The mayor's attorney, Eddie Castang, recently received the information and is thoroughly reviewing the document. Until his review is complete, the city will not comment further on this matter. The 45-page federal indictment outlines conspiracies to conceal Cantrell's relationship with Vappy, who was assigned to her executive protection unit, with Vappy getting paid for the time they spent together in a relationship described as personal and intimate at dinners in New Orleans and on trips abroad. The indictment says they treated the Pontalba apartment as their personal shared residence, with Cantrell often referring to it as, quote, our apartment. WWL Chief Investigative Reporter David Hammer starts our breaking team coverage.
Shocking day and a historic day because, as you said, this is the first federal criminal charges filed against a sitting mayor of New Orleans, Mayor LaToya Cantrell, still in office for about 5 more months. And the indictment, 45 pages, details 18 criminal counts, 12 counts specifically against the mayor, including conspiracy, false statements, and obstruction of justice. The grand jury alleges Cantrell and Vappy began an intimate relationship around October 2021. They used their official city positions to spend time together while Vappy claimed to be on duty providing mayoral security. This included false time cards, false travel expense forms, and misuse of taxpayer-funded trips, costing the city of New Orleans over $70,000 just for Vappy's expenses. Now, they allegedly concealed the relationship and gave false statements to the FBI and a federal grand jury. Vappy submitted time cards claiming to work full shifts while actually engaged in personal activities with Cantrell, the indictment alleges, and Cantrell signed off on false travel expense forms showing trips as purely official business, they allege. And they also allege Cantrell deleted thousands of WhatsApp messages with Vappy and alleges that Cantrell lied under oath to the grand jury about producing all of the messages that they requested. Now, acting U.S. Attorney Michael Simpson held a press conference just about an hour and a half ago. I was there to ask this question. Take a listen. Did you take pause at all about bringing criminal charges that at the heart are based on a romantic relationship, especially with the first woman mayor of the city of New Orleans?
To me, it's irrelevant that it's romance or that it's female. What is relevant is that it is an incredible breach of the public trust. It's an incredible betrayal of people's confidence in their own government, and it's a violation of innumerable federal criminal laws.
I'm joined now by Matt Chester, a former federal prosecutor who actually helped prosecute former Mayor Ray Nagin the last time that a mayor of New Orleans was indicted. And Matt, we heard Simpson saying at the press conference that this is not about their romantic relationship. This is about violation of innumerable criminal or many criminal laws. What's your reaction as a former federal prosecutor yourself to them basing this, though, on a romantic relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I think both things can be true at the same time, right? There are serious allegations in here. There are allegations of falsification of documentation to get city money. There are allegations of lying to a federal grand jury, lying to federal law enforcement. But at its core, those lies, those activities were about hiding the illicit relationship. So I think both can be true at its core. I view this case as a case where two people had an affair, there was some falsification of documentations, which of course isn't right, and there was lots of steps to cover it up. But in my mind, that's how I view this case.
And as a prosecutor, do you face challenges then bringing a case that is based on morality, so to speak, in terms of an affair, to a jury and try to prove that case in court?
Yes and no. The government's not going to view this case as a morality play, right? The government is going to view this case as falsifying documents, lying to a federal grand jury, lying to federal law enforcement. The defense, if I were Mayor Cantrell's lawyer, would be saying this is just about two people who had an affair for a variety of reasons, mostly personal, I'm guessing. They didn't want it to become public. And so, there's historical examples of juries having sympathy for that sort of a thing. So I think it depends on the perspective that you approach this with, but the government will not view this as morality. I think the defense will play that up.
And again, thank you, Matt. This is going to be the next step of Mayor Cantrell having an arraignment. And again, these are just allegations. They still need to be proven in court. Reporting from Federal Criminal Court, David Hammer, WWL, Louisiana.
A New Orleans legislative body is weighing in tonight. Many on the city council have offered thoughts and prayers to the mayor and her family as they navigate this news. Some went on to say while this legal battle plays out, they will remain focused on their constituents. A few are urging the public to remember the mayor is innocent until proven guilty. Councilmember Joe Giarrusso emphasized that in his statement, saying, quote, "Everyone is presumed innocent under the law. Mayor Cantrell deserves that presumption. This unfortunately will be sensationalized because it involves the mayor and will further impede the city's operations. We should, however, let the facts play out and not rush to judgment." We've also heard from some state leaders, including Attorney General Liz Murrill, who said, quote, "New Orleans deserves leadership that is honest, accountable, and dedicated to serving the public and making the city safe, clean, and economically sustainable. These are serious charges. I'll be monitoring this matter closely." So far, there's been no response from Governor Jeff Landry on today's historic indictment. We will have more on the federal indictment coming up later in this newscast. You can also find continuing coverage on our website, our free smartphone app, and on our social media pages.